Dear colleagues, librarians and friends, I am Jorunn Systad, a library manager in a public library in Norway, and I'm chair in IFLA, Libraries for Children and Young Adults sections. I'm so honored to be together with you all and welcome you today to a virtual mid-year meeting in our IFLA section. IFLA is the global voice of the library and the information profession. And our section is one of over 40 standing committees in this big organization. We work together across sectors and the world to implement activities to enable librarians working with children and young adults all over the world. The pandemic is still holding the world in a tight grip. But we meet, we work, and we learn, and we communicate through the screen. And still, even if there is a pandemic, librarians continue with their work, creating a meeting place and presenting great literature to children and young adults all around the world, in the libraries or with digital services. As our moderator today, I will give the word to a great professional and important advisor for our standing committee. Annie Everall is a librarian who have worked with children and young people's and schools library services in UK for more than 30 years. During her career, she has developed and managed a range of award-winning innovative services, including Birmingham Centre for the Child, the Young Readers UK Book Festival, the Stories from the Web, and a big book batch for children in care and their caregivers. She has also been involved in organizing many events, and now she's here with us. Please welcome Annie.
Thank you, Jorunn. It's been a pleasure and is a pleasure being part of this fantastic Children and Young Adults Committee. I get the job of just reminding you of what the protocols are for today's event. And the first one is, can you please make sure that you all switch off your microphones and your cameras when I tell you to before we start the presentations. I need to also let you know that this meeting is being recorded so that you're aware of that. If when you have a question or a comment that you want to make about the presentations while they're taking place, please pop your question in the chat box and we will deal with as many questions as we can when we have our half-an-hour question time at the end of the presentations. It would be very helpful if you are asking a question, if you can put a capital Q and the name of the person that you want to ask the question, so that it makes it easier for the question catchers to see what questions we've received and who they need to be answered by. And I think that's all I have to tell you, except to say, please, can you switch off your mics and cameras if you haven't already done so? And I'm now going to hand over to Anton, who will start the video presentations. Enjoy this morning. We have some brilliant presentations for you. Over to you, Anton.
Hi, my name is Søren Dahl Mortensen. I'm from Denmark. I work in the library in the city of Odense. Hi, my name is Søren Dahl Mortensen. Of the country. We have about 200,000 inhabitants in our city, and we have branch libraries. We have 8 libraries, and I'm at working at the main library. I'm a children's librarian, and I'm a project manager as well. And we are in Denmark, as I told you, and we have about 350 libraries situated all over the country, well organized library system, And right now I'm sitting in a new area that we've just made in our trying to attract young families to the library, people who are not just interested in lending books and other materials, but also to come here and have experience about the library, feel well, feel good. I'm also here to talk about what we did under the COVID-19 last year at the library. It was in the beginning quite exciting actually, that we all had to work from home. We had meetings at Teams and people were waving and thought that this was kind of 1 month, 1.5 months, and then we would all be back at the library as a kind of break actually in the beginning. But after about 1 month, a lot of us started feeling that this isn't too good. We have to do something about this. We are here at the library. We're here to help people reading. We have to promote reading. We have to promote literature. We have to promote experience, exciting experiences that we have from the library. And we thought what we could do. So we started off. We have a colleague from the library, me and a colleague. We went out to kindergartens telling stories. Quite simple, back to basics, all dressed up as the man with the yellow hat and Curious George and Pippi Longstocking. And we had a tour. We had 2 or 3 kindergartens at a day, and we toured around the city of Odense. And we actually managed to make stories for about 1,000 kids. And they were really excited about that. And also in the kindergartens, they thought that this was a great idea. We have about 50 local libraries in the kindergartens. We have a kangaroo who stands in the entrance of the kindergarten, where parents can take a book and take it with them home and deliver it back to the kindergarten the day after, or some days after, what they feel like. It's a system that we've been developing for last 10 years. And it's working very fine, and we are not losing a lot of books. People, parents, they tend to deliver the book back to the kangaroo in the kindergarten, and we deliver new books 2 or 3 times a year, packed from the main library. So we had this basic, so we could contact the kindergartens and go up from there and work with them and do the storytelling. And also, when we finished that in the springtime, in summertime, and also find out another when we finished that in the springtime, I'm a project manager as well on a huge festival which takes place in the autumn in Odense, and we realized that we were not going to have this festival. The festival actually comes out from the Harry Potter universe. And we had this Harry Potter festival for several years, but Warner didn't like us using the Harry Potter name, so we changed it to Magical Days. And in 2019 we had about 20,000 visitors for this festival, huge festival, all working together in the city of Odense, trying to make the best we can about this great festival. But we realized that we couldn't have this festival in the streets. Children are running around using their wands, playing, having fun, and all the shops we have in the city. It was not possible for us to do it. So we thought we had to find another ways. We have volunteers working, and we had trainees. And the trainees started finding out what we could do, so we made these bags. This is a logo from the festival, and then they have these bags where they have like a goodie bag, magical goodie bag, and we made 1,500 of those goodie bags, and the kids could come and collect them and do their magic things at home. So it was kind of a way for us to promote the festival and also show people that we're still here. We're fighting, we want to do the best we can, and we'll be back next year, hopefully. Right now we're working on a new shop in the city, magical shop, where we want to make small events to keep on the festival, to remind people in the city that we're here and that we want to have this festival again in the autumn.
Good day, everyone. I am Melanie Ramirez, commonly known as IFLA, and I'm a professional children's librarian in the National Library of the Philippines. I'm going to talk about the children's library services in new normal. I will give you some practices in the new normal. Let me first define the children's library. It provides information on library services for children, right? And it also provides cultural resources and the Center for Learning. Last year, month of March, all the libraries are closed, have been closed due to coronavirus. OMG, what happened? And now, our question is, how to promote the children's library services during pandemic, and how will you promote the library while you in the work from home and or skeletal workforce. Now we all that the librarian give the right information to the right reader at the right time. How will you give the information when the library is closed? Now, children's libraries are doing what they can to fill the gaps in access technology, right? So, first, the collection. So, how will you promote the collection? You just post all the electronic resources that you have, the ebooks and the e-journals, and you provide a window for e-resources in the website, even in the FB page. Second, the reference inquiries. So, how will you answer the reference inquiries? By email, reference inquiries to email, by FB chat. How will you answer the reference inquiries? By email all the resources to email, by FB chat. How will you answer the reference inquiries? Using your cell phone or some mobile, right? And then how this is the reference email, all the resources, resources that the National Library have. This is the reference email, all the other resources, resources that the National Library have. And then after that, the reference email, all the other resources, use the the online storytelling. Other how will you promote reading during this pandemic? So we all know that technology is the best way to promote our collections through online storytelling. All the collections, the children's books, the children's stories, you use the live streaming using the FB and also using the StreamYard and other applications that you can use in telling the story to the children. And even you can use the video recorded. You just include all the apps, the sounds, other applications that your story will appear interactive and lively do recorded, right? And then next, all the online storytelling videos, you just uh, compile and put on the YouTube. And then after that, every time the book cover, you just, this will be the profile of your videos. And every time they click, they will see your storytelling, right? And we have also the online puppet show. So the online puppet show also, we provide some puppets and we live live streaming on how to use the puppets, and also some stories, and it converted into a puppet show. So that's it. Next is the online arts and crafts. So we use papers, the recycled materials. No, we you know that we say that the step by step of the arts and crafts, and we also paint, and also some music. No, we teach the children using the video by how to guitar, how to sing, how to paint, how to drawing. So all of that is the online arts and craft. And next is the online read aloud. So we use we celebrate the World Read Aloud Day, then spearheaded by the Lit World. So we invite public libraries and in the community, all the childrens, and they come, and we come up in the platform of Zoom. So we invite some famous people, the author or writer, and then they read aloud us. Okay. And next we have also the webinars. So webinars, we have the live workshop on puppetry. We have the live streaming also on how to tell a story interactive, using the apps, no, using also the video, you just video. Okay. And what is the new normal in the library, what are the safety and protocols in library, in using the library. So that's the webinar, all the topic about health, about arts and craft, and the storytelling. Okay. And then next, live talk shows on library. So we invite some public librarians and the children's librarians to tell them, to present their health and safety protocols in their libraries, in how they overcome those pandemic. Okay. And they share some best practices during this pandemic. Okay. And they present, and they teach us some tips on how to overcome those pandemic. No, so that's it. And meet and greet the author. So meaning we invite also the author of the books, the story, the who wrote the story, and we tell them as their story, and then live interview with them, and asking some inspirational message and some tips on how to write a story. So that is meet and greet the author. That is live. We call it live kwentuhan in the NLP book card page project. And then next, we have the tick book. So we all know that now tick book, or the TikTok is famous, right? So we use that applications, the video sharing about library and books. So we just record about what is happening in your library, and also what is your collection, and give some information about about COVID, about health. So we use the book or the TikTok. Okay. So we also have the book face. So we promote the book cover of the our collection by using the book face. Okay. So that's it, the simple children services in the library in a new normal. So we all know that we have the work from home. We can use it work from home, and we can also use in the skeletal workforce. Here in the Philippines, some of the libraries are open, but some of them are not open because of the safety and protocol, and we should save though for that corona, but we using through online services. That's it, online services. We use the online services, the online storytelling, the online reference inquiries, online what you call this, the online workshops, the webinars. So all of that activities we use here in the Philippines. So some tips for you, friends and co-librarians, co-employees, just use here some basic practices that we use in the Philippines. So thank you very much, and I hope you like the presentation. And I am a storyteller, so I want to tell story, tell story, tell stories, tell your stories in your library. Okay, so what is the story about your library during this pandemic? So come on, let's let's share our best practices in the whole world, in our the children's library in the Philippines, in the US and Europe, all over the world. Okay, so thank you very much. Bye.
Hello, my name is Emiko Goeku. I'm working at Tokyo Children's Library. The Tokyo Children's Library is one of the handfuls of the NPO libraries in Japan, and it's specialized in children's books and reading. So we serve children and adults who work with children and books. This is our children's room. Here, children can enjoy books with librarians anytime they want and as much as they want. And in this cozy and intimate atmosphere, I enjoyed my work as a librarian. But the COVID pandemic has drastically changed our daily services. Today, I'm going to talk about the new practices we started this year to stay connected with children while keeping physical distances. In Japan, the COVID-19 infection started to spread gradually at the end of the 2019 and at the end of February 2020, according to the government's recommendations, we decided to suspend our regular story hours and nursery rhyme times for the time being. And at the beginning of March, many schools, kindergartens, and nursery schools have been closed. And this situation made us to take a step into the digital services. We started to post digital story hours on the YouTube and got an Instagram account to post book recommendations. On the YouTube channel, we put 10 stories. As we have our own publication section, we could choose 10 folk tales from those books to clear the copyright issues. And with generous permissions from publishing companies, we could also post 2 short book talks. But we had no experience in this kind of digital things. We improved our skills by trial and error. At this point, this kind of attempts by libraries were very few, so it attracted attention from the media. So we had some TV news show clues and newspaper reporters to feature our attempts. And it also inspired other public librarians to start their own ways to do digital services to children. And at the beginning of April, we closed the library and started to work from home. Usually, in April, the beginning of the new school year, we hand out newsletters to children via schools and kindergartens. But this year, as the schools was not open yet, we made an extra and posted the letter to each child who registers in the children's room. Here is the handwritten extra, and it includes the messages and book recommendations from the librarians and nursery rhymes and riddles. In July, we opened the children's room again, but with some restrictions. Children can stay up to 30 minutes per day, and if the room is not crowded, they can ask librarians to read to them, but each child can pick up only one book one time. So one day I asked a girl if she would like me to read something to her. She said yes, and she chose a rather long storybook. Perhaps she wanted to enjoy her stay fully, because she used to come to the library very often before the pandemic to enjoy chatting with us as well as reading books. So to communicate with such children, we invited them to be pen pals with librarians on the September newsletter. After a few weeks, we got several letters, and among them, there was a letter from the girl who wrote that she has never visited the library before, but she enjoyed writing letters so much, and after several correspondences, she came to the children's room. But unfortunately, it was in December that she could finally meet her pen pal librarian. It's because of our work shift. And in November, we started the annual reading campaign. The reading campaign we call is something similar to the summer reading programs, and children look forward to participate. During this period, we usually focus on and encourage children to ask librarians to read to them so that they can try longer stories, focus on the pictures in the picture books, and listening to the stories. But this year, to keep distance and shorten children's stay in the children's rooms, we decided to arrange the rules and focus on the reading at home. The title is The Books in the Book Are. So here is how it works. Librarians pick up 3 books that have something in common and put those books into a paper bag and close the bag. So children choose a bag without knowing its contents and bring it back home and read it at home and guess what's in common. So it's not an exam to find correct answers so they can think freely, and sometimes they get better answers than ours. For example, there is a bag with those 3 books. It's Goodnight Moon, A Child Goodnight Book, and Bedtime for Francis. Their titles in Japanese are Oyasumi nasai Otsuki-sama, Oyasumi nasai no hon, Oyasumi nasai Francis. So it all has Oyasumi nasai in the titles, and Oyasumi nasai means good night. So I asked a 3-year-old girl who borrowed the goodnight books for her answer, and she thought for a while and said, "They are all my favorites." I was so glad to hear her very, very good answer. In Japan, this kind of merchandise, lucky bags in New Year's sales are very common, and recently many libraries are using this method. But adding the element of quiz, the guessing thing, we can communicate with every child who participates, and we both children and librarians enjoy the small talk. So we are going to keep this program until the end of March. During this year, after all, we are seeking and trying the ways to serve children as much person to person as possible. I think it is because the children, and especially young children, are very intimate with other people, living very close to people, and it's natural for them. And about our digital story hours, we got some opinions who asked why we started this, because the library has long been focused on the importance of reading and telling stories to children directly, and encouraged librarians and parents to do so. So we had several staff meetings. In these uncertain circumstances, we have lots of new difficulties, but I think it is a good chance to start new things. So I would like to keep discussing, think about the good points and differences of digital and real services, think flexibly and try new ways. And it would be great if I could hear ideas, opinions, and practices from around the world. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Hui Bin from the National Library Board of Singapore. Today, I'll be sharing our experiences in planning children and teens programs in the new normal, namely what guides our program plans and some of our more successful programs. Everyone will agree that we were caught off guard by the changes brought about by COVID-19 and had to fast forward our online programs to support our target audiences, namely the children, teens, their parents, educators in home-based learning and blended learning. As our digital offerings increase, we came up with 5 broad strategies to guide us in planning our online programs. 1. To leverage technology to increase awareness of our programs, increase reach to our target audience, and support an inclusive society such as the underserved community. 2. To empower children and teens for self-directed reading and learning. For this, we want to create and curate different online program formats and digital learning resources to encourage self-guided learning and user-generated content. 3. To build an inclusive reading and learning environment that support blended learning, looking at more bite-sized, interactive, and experiential learning through hybrid programming with some online and some face-to-face programs. As we do not have expertise in all subjects, there's also a need to leverage collaborative partnerships, both internal and external. This is to ensure a good variety of programs and increase awareness of our online programs to a wider reach through effective cross-promotion and marketing of our programs. For example, we worked closely with our corporate communications division and digital experience team to get media exposure opportunities on the mainstream media and social media channels. The interviews featured here include radio interviews with our directors, a Straits Times newspaper article on increased demand for our digital offerings, and a Channel News Asia interview with a parent and student who have watched our storytelling videos and read our ebooks. This has highly increased visibility of our new online programs and garnered support of new audiences. Our close collaboration with the Ministry of Education also allows publicity of our library services via the Ministry's communication channels such as social media and a mobile app that connects educators to parents. Our resources are included in the kit to support home-based learning during school closures. Role modeling is also another important strategy to feature librarians and volunteers as reading and learning role models. This helps us build rapport with a wider target audience with librarians and volunteers in the spotlight. It also looks at providing opportunities for families to bond with their children and for parents to be seen as role models by reading and learning together through our online programs. Accompanying our broad strategies are 3 guiding principles. Our online program should firstly reach out to a wider audience. Next, to consider program engagement, to be mindful of the screen time for children, cater to the social interaction needs of teens on a safe online environment, and incorporating gaming or competitive element to appeal to both children and teens. Lastly, is to look at the expertise that is unique to our libraries to gain visibility in midst of the explosion of online offerings. With the launch of new online programs, we realized the need to set new targets for reporting purposes. Online programs that require registration can still be tracked by the number of participants. In tracking the usage of programs that are uploaded and made available online, we look at the number of views. Next question to ask is then, how long do we need to track the usage and to set a common tracking duration for consistency in reporting? Are there any benchmark of successful online programs as a comparison? Well, answer is no, as most of our online programs are new, so we must set our targets based on the usage of our current online programs. To find out users' digital experience is possible via indications such as the number of likes, shares, and written comments. Another point to address for online programs is the copyright of the materials featured. It is key for staff to be aware of the copyright laws and to secure use of copyrights for online programs and content. We worked very closely with our local publishers to do that. Lastly, remember to delete the digital content upon the expiry of the copyrighted content online. Realizing that different social media platforms serve different audience and purpose, we have categorized our online children and teens programs into 3 main categories: pre-recorded, live Zoom, and engagement activities. The pre-recorded programs are suitable for children as it allows them to watch their favorite programs over and over again. Parents can choose to join their children or simply use these programs to engage their children to free up more time for themselves. As parents are the gatekeepers of children's online access, they will have more flexibility in watching the programs anytime, anywhere at their convenience. Next, I'll share some of our pre-recorded programs. Last April, we brought storytelling online and launched Storytime with our librarians. It is an ongoing series of storytelling videos posted on Facebook. The videos were created by our librarians, and we experimented new and creative ways of delivering storytelling, introducing tandem storytelling and incorporating animation to make the stories come alive. Our storytelling videos have touched lives and inspired young viewers to create their own storytelling videos and artwork. Many parents have shared positive feedback, and even adults found our storytelling enjoyable. Singapore Prime Minister Lee Hsien Loong and Education Minister Ong Ye Kung also posted about the Storytime with our librarians initiative on their respective Facebook pages in May last year. This further raised the awareness of the online storytelling and increased our viewership. Now this storytelling series has transformed into Storytime, a digital volunteerism initiative that aims to support parents in raising readers at home, support inclusivity through audio-visual media, and engage volunteers as storytellers online at their own convenience. Storytime has featured many prominent volunteers, including a minister, a news anchor, and authors. The pool of volunteers has further expanded to include corporate organizations to showcase different occupations. We received very enthusiastic response from many corporate organizations, including the Singapore Airlines and the Republic of Singapore Navy. Schedule is also full till December this year. Viewership has reached over 660,000 for the 270 storytelling videos as at this February. There's definitely a much wider reach as compared to the on-site library storytelling. Each video could reach more than 1,000 viewers, which is more than any of our physical spaces could contain. Next, we have the Holiday Special Series, which features our librarians in short and fun videos making various creations from books while learning about different STEAM topics. Aimed to engage children during the school holidays, the holiday specials were also well received, averaging about 500 views per video. We held our first virtual information session for educators last year with a theme on redefining reading and learning spaces. Educators presented their school's best practices and success stories to create impact beyond their schools by inspiring fellow educators to promote and engage students in reading and learning. All presentation videos were uploaded to our library's YouTube channel, and the video links were sent by invite to the educators. We observed that curated programs are suitable to be delivered live via Zoom, as it allows interaction between speaker and participants, as well as among participants themselves. Hence, most of our live Zooms programs are for teens to allow for social interaction with their peers, as well as for parent-child programs for them to learn and bond together. Topics of curated programs could range from health, creative writing, theatre performance, financial literacy to cybersecurity. Teens Take Over is a new workshop series that targets teens and allows them to gain new learning experiences and skills. Designed under 6 learning focus on digital, sustainability, health, reading, science, and career, the online workshops offer teens with engaging activities that appeal to their interests, as well as the necessary know-hows to prepare for their future career and navigate life ahead. Conversational Korean and YouTube video secrets tend to be more popular among the teens. Our engagement with the Teen Reading Ambassadors have also shifted to digital hangout sessions and teen panel meetups via Zoom. Our librarians used these sessions to check in on them, suss out their interests, and get their valuable inputs in planning teen library programs in the new normal. In addition, our Teen Reading Ambassadors were featured as storytellers in Storytime, conducted author interviews, and participated as panelists and MCs at the virtual Asian Festival of Children's Content. As for engagement activities, they are designed to engage children and teens in DIY activities via socials. These include giveaways, interactive quizzes, and choose your own adventure or escape the room activities, etc. We turned our Halloween-themed children's festival into a virtual one that features multiple family-friendly activities such as a digital escape room game, storytelling and craft videos, jokes, fun facts, Facebook giveaways, and spooky e-reads. Terrific Tuesdays with Monsters United are a series of brain teaser activities featuring our library's Monster United, which is made up of 4 mascots that each represent a different book genre. Activities include word search puzzles, printable mazes, and spot the difference challenges. These were meant to engage children at home with fun and stimulating activities. Our collaboration with Scholastic gives Hunger Games fans a chance to answer a quiz question and win the Ballet of Songbirds and Snakes, the long-awaited prequel to the Hunger Games trilogy in July last year. Publicity on Discover Read's DIY activities via socials such as Facebook is to drive traffic to the main website, where there are more fun DIY printables, discussion worksheets, inspiring STEAM activities, literary quizzes and reading resources provided to engage children, teens, families and educators in reading and learning. As on-site programs gradually resume at the libraries, there are challenges that surface. We have to put in place the safe management measures, and this means limited capacity for the programs, in which some program partners are not inclined to take up. High-touch programs and activities such as the Makerspace is still closed, and the activities have to be repackaged and distributed as individual take-home learning packages. We also have to make time allowance to clean on-site materials before and after each program. One way to mitigate these changes is to go contactless. An example is BookBucks, a collectible card game designed to promote reading among children. They can borrow books and participate in quizzes to redeem BookBuck cards from automated dispensers in our libraries. Since its launch in 2016, BookBucks has been successful in attracting non-readers, many of whom were boys, who developed positive reading attitudes. Children were empowered to problem solve and take charge of their progress in the game. They discussed character types and initiated card exchanges amongst themselves to complete their collections, created fan art and book reviews, as well as devised creative strategies to ace their gameplay. Many parents shared that their children not only read more, but also socialized more with their peers. Now in its 3rd edition is BookBucks Explorer, incorporating mother tongue and bilingual content. Card redemption is contactless via the card dispensing machines at the libraries, accompanied by the safe management measures. Since its launch in December, we achieved more than 1.6 million loans from 26,000 participants. As the world mostly goes online and stays online these days, programs can go beyond borders. The National Library Board of Singapore would like to share our BookBucks initiative and invite all libraries to participate in BookBucks International program. Here's a short video introduction to BookBucks International.
Hello, I'm Petra and welcome to the library. My friends and I are book bugs. We originated from library books of different genres such as fantasy, mystery, and adventure. The books are where we get our looks and powers from. Alas, the evil bug Scorpius brainwashed some of us, and now these bugs have escaped from their books to cause chaos and confusion in the library. We need your help to get children at the library to round them up by collecting BookBugs cards. Children can start their BookBugs collection at the libraries by reading and borrowing books. They can trade the cards and use them to play the BookBugs strategy game. The bugs have special powers to outwit each other. Wow! Looks like someone won the game and defeated Scorpius! The BookBugs program can motivate young readers to visit the library more and to grow their social circle. Most importantly, it makes reading exciting. Join us and be a part of the global BookBugs community.
All participating libraries will receive a package of resources to help kickstart your BookBugs journey with us. To register your interest, please scan the QR code or click the link on this slide. As the situation remains uncertain, in navigating children and teens programs in the new normal, we have to be curious and continue to observe, explore, and adapt to the changes. With that, I end my presentation. Thank you for your attention.
Good day, dear friends. I'd like to say a few words about remote work. I think nowadays everyone knows that remote work is one of the most important things in life of an every professional worker. This year, or maybe the previous year, remote work in our professional life was very difficult, and not all the librarians knew how to work in these new conditions. I'd like to say a few words about different ways of this work, about different applications, and so on. And the first thing which I would want to mention is a very common thing. It's email. Email, of course, is well known for everyone who work in business sphere. Many people think that nowadays Facebook is much more important than email, but in business communications, email is still the main service to speak with people, to speak with your colleagues. Other way of this communication, easy way, is different group chats in different messengers. It can be WhatsApp, Viber, or in Russia we usually use Telegram Messenger. It's a very common and useful tool. We can not only speak but also send different documents and different types of files. Also, Telegram application lets us make some kind of bots. It's, for example, this bot was done by our library to collect information about health of our librarians, of our colleagues. It was necessary to know what's going on with our friends right now. And all of our staff should use this Telegram bot during first months of the COVID situation. Another thing is online reference service. Most of our librarians were not on their own workplace during first months, during March, April and May, but they could help to our patrons through online reference services that was placed on our website. It's a free tool, so it was very easy and comfortable for us to place it on our website. We can speak with our patrons, we could answer their questions, and we could say them what is the nowadays conditions with COVID situation. Another way of remote work is work through library management system. All new modern library management systems, LMS, there are different library management systems in the world, but the best ones have a possibility to work through internet. It's not just a standalone application, but it's a web-based applications. During spring, all our librarians have a possibility to work with library catalog to improve it and to help to our patrons. I think many of you were in a situation when many people want to make something like a meeting, but all of you have different possibilities, different time slots, and you can't assign the certain time of meeting. And that's why there is a very useful tool for this work. It's called Doodle. Through Doodle, you can put points of the time slots when you can take part in a meeting, for example. And when the organizer see the most popular time, he says, that's the time, and it's a very easy tool. Unfortunately, it's not totally free, so if you want to use it, you'll have to pay some money. In most situations, text messaging is enough for work, but in some cases it's necessary to make something like video calling, and Zoom application is the most convenient as most professional tool for this work. I think 2 years ago I didn't work with Zoom as much as now, but now Zoom is not just a way to make web meetings, but also it's a way to make great streams for our library, great streams from our events. It can be done right from the Zoom application. We tried to use the time when the library was closed as effective as possible. That's why we made some changes in library. But it was necessary to see what's going on in the library when me personally wasn't in the library. In these occasions, we were using different applications and different devices for remote video monitoring, for example. On this picture, you can see how a new Atrium zone was created in our library. The most well-known Office applications which can be used through web is a family of Google Docs. It's Google Forms, Google Docs, and Google Sheets. The easiest way to use these applications is, for example, simultaneous editing of a document. You can simultaneously edit one and the same document with your colleagues, but there can be much more complicated variants. For example, many people can send form with different information about their conditions, about I don't know, about their work, and then they can be collected and analyzed in Google Sheets program. But it can be not only Office applications, it can be even applications to work with different graphics. For example, on the screen you can find Adobe Photoshop. Of course, it's a very small application with very small possibilities, but you can make some changes in photo if it's really necessary. You have a possibility not to have this application on your own computer, but you can use just the browser to make this short editing. Now I'd like to say a few words about different things connected with network administration. For some people it seems very difficult to work remotely with their desktop computers, but there are very simple applications, and one of these applications is TeamViewer, which can be easily installed on your computer. You go to another computer, input these two strings, the number of the remote computer and the password, and you can see remote desktop. It's very easy, and for example, we were using this application to give access to our colleagues to their work computers. Of course, it's not the only way to work with remote computers. There are much more complicated, much more professional ways. For example, it's virtual private network or remote desktop protocol, but I don't want to speak right now about these things. The one thing that should be clear that there are many ways to work with remote computer, and there are easy ways to make this work. There are many different devices in our library, and some of them very complicated. It can be, for example, ventilation systems, and it was necessary to monitor their state. It was a very big help from Internet of Things in this. There are applications which can help you to monitor all these devices through internet. It's easy, tools which can help you to understand what's going on with light in your library, with ventilation, conditioning. And for example, on this picture, you can find application for remote control of Wi-Fi system. Almost at the end of my speech, I'd like to combine all these possibilities. We were speaking about communications, about document work, about teamwork, and there are certain applications which combine all these possibilities. One of these application is Basecamp, which is used in IFLA community. These applications are not very easy for understanding, but they can be very useful in your work if you have many people who should work together, who should understand the timeline, who should have different versions of documents, and who need not very great tool for communication, but a certain tool, and all these things in one place. There are different types of these applications. Some of them are free of charge and some of them need to be paid. And finally, I'd like to say that all these problems, of course, it's huge problems, but it's not just problems, it's also possibilities. For example, it's great possibilities for distance learning. For example, for this time, I was able to get a course of sailing, and now I'm a skipper. And I hope that very soon I'll be able to speak with my friends, not only through monitor window, but also to see them face to face. I hope that everything will be good very soon, and I hope that we'll be able to see each other. Thank you very much.
That's absolutely brilliant. Sorry, those presentations have been fantastic. I've got so many ideas and thoughts buzzing around my head. I almost forgot to think about questions. I was so engrossed. So thank you to all of you for some great presentations. And just to remind you all that you can post your questions in the chat box because we're now going to move into the question and answer phase. So if I could ask all the presenters to put their cameras and mics back on so that we can see you while we chat, and I can then start the questions. So my first question really is to all of you. You've all changed your services in response to COVID and produced some brilliant work. What changes do you think will stay when your libraries all reopen and you know things get back to that new normal? What have you learned that you will keep? Who would like to answer first?
May I give you a first answer?
Lovely.
So it's kind of some technical things. We had, in usual situation, we had a lot of usual events, but nowadays we've got a possibility to get interesting people, not from our location, but from all over the world. And of course, we use all these possibilities to give new information to all our patrons. And we've got a lot of learning in distance events for like today's meeting. We organize these meetings every day. We'll have a very big professional meeting very soon. So there were some really good things we've got from this situation.
Okay. Melanie, would you like to comment? Emiko? Soren?
Yes.
Yes, I've raised my hand.
Oh, Soren, you first.
Yeah. Well, we definitely will go on with the storytelling abroad as well. I mean, we do it at the library and been doing it for some time, but the thing with going out into the kindergartens is functioned very fine. We definitely will go on with that one. Yeah.
Good, thank you. Emiko?
Yes, well, I almost forgot how the normal was, so I was wondering what to answer. But for adult services, we started online webinars as well. So it was highly reputed because someone who is not living in Tokyo or who cannot leave their homes can join the webinars. So I think we'll keep that, but not sure about the children's services yet.
Okay, that's interesting to talk to you again later year to see how things have changed and what we've kept. Melanie, how about you?
I will thank you very much, Miss Anne. So I will stay the online storytelling that we do, and also the live. We call it live kwentuhan. We just meet and greet the author and some expertise on how to share their best practices in the public libraries. That's it.
Thank you. Who have been?
Well, I think I have also shared in my presentation deck that in fact we find that the way to go is really hybrid programming. Yes, because people have already gotten very used to online programs, and that there are also merits to it, being able to reach out to a wider audience. Yeah, but at the same time, we do know that there are also some programs whereby we cannot do it online. Yeah, so I think moving forward, we'll look at, trying to reach a balance in terms of the on-site as well as the online programs.
Thank you. I think the other thing I was interested about is that many of you talked about having got the media involved and promoting what you do. And how have you managed to get your media involved? Because in some countries, particularly like the UK, it can be quite difficult to get them. So I think what tips would you give us for engaging the media in promoting the work that you do? So do you want to tell me first, who I've been, as you're on my screen?
I think really credits to my colleagues from the corporate communications team as well as digital experience team, because I think we have a very good relationship with the media, and that during the times when the libraries are closed and schools are closed, in fact, many of Singaporeans look forward to looking at programs as well as resources from the libraries. So there's a lot of interest in that sense, and makes it easier for us to pitch our stories, and to get buy-in from many different medias in Singapore.
Okay, thank you. Emiko, do you want to respond?
Yes. Well, I just can't say it's trial and error, because it was at my library, not so many people have used Zoom before the COVID thing. So using Zoom was one of the big struggle in April and May. And we started Instagram and we started YouTube. It was all first to us. So we just tried and kept learning. That's all I can say.
Yeah, no, that's useful information.
Yeah.
Thank you. Anton.
Thank you.
Yes, I should say that during the spring, many of large libraries in Russia became something like big TV networks. We were working like TV studios. Yes, we had about 4 or 5 programs every day. We were making them online. Also, there is a very useful website in Russia. It calls culture.ru. It's under Ministry of Culture of Russia, and all these streams were in one place from all over the Russia. So people who were interested in this information could go to one place and they could see what all the cultural organizations from all over Russia, not only libraries, it were libraries, museums, theaters, and so on. All those organizations were trying to make different online events, and they were placing it on one place. So it was very great to get thousands of people who could take part in our events, and it was really great. Nowadays, it was a great school, so we are still using this tool.
And so that's why now we can make a YouTube streaming of our today's event. This knowledge is from this time. So some possibilities are really great.
Thank you very much. Soren.
Yes, well, we did this feel-good story. I mean, everybody loved it, so it was quite easy. I mean, going out and present things for children in the kindergarten, and we have professional filmmakers with us. So we made this film, but we also have the press with us. So it was like a feel-good story. Everybody loved it, of course. So in that way, in that extent, it was quite easy to get publicity.
It's great when you get it, because the media is so, so crucial, isn't it, in getting the message out. So thank you. And I think it's Melanie that hasn't answered this one.
Yes. Okay. So I found out that our children's services we can offer through online. So before we cannot do that, but now during pandemic, I found out that our services can be delivered through online and reach some children and even the young adults about what is the services that the children's library have. So I found that, and it's not easy, but I try and I found or I researched some activities that can be offer even we are in the work from home or even in the skeletal workforce. That's it.
Thank you. And one of the questions from one of our participants asking, have any of the presenters developed an evaluation system to measure the impact of your virtual stroke digital programs? So Melanie, do you want to answer as you're up on my screen?
Yeah, actually, yes, actually, we have the customer feedback online. So every time we conduct the online services, we have an online form. So we send it to them and then they answered. And I'm so thankful because all the feedback is very good, excellent. And some of the viewers also give some suggestions of our activity. So it's that great feedback. And we every week we produce the FB analytics that we found in the FB page, in our FB page. So we just check the analytics, the viewers, the reach, how many reach viewers, and also the how many likes and dislikes. Some of for me, it's better to accept those dislikes because we want for enrichment, or I mean in an innovation for us to do some good for the services. So that's it.
Thank you. Anton.
Yes, of course, we were trying to evaluate what we are doing. And when I've said we were making streams, it wasn't just streaming to YouTube. We were making simultaneous streams to 4 different social networks. So, of course, we were attentively looking for all the comments we got from our patrons. We were trying to make answers right when we right when we get the questions, and it's one of the main points to be right with our patrons, not to make long distance between us, but talk with them as much as possible. And of course, after all the events, we were collecting all analytics from all the social networks. We were trying to analyze which event is much more interesting, from which countries, areas people are coming to us. Of course, we always make all this analytics from all our activities.
Thank you. Hui Bin.
Well, I think more or less from what Anton as well as Melania has shared, we are also looking at the online analytics to help us determine how successful our programs are. Yeah, but like I mentioned before, also our programs are pretty new, online. So in a way, we don't really have a benchmark. So we can only look at the statistics of the past few months that as we try out, and then we can refine along the way. And the written comments from the public is really, really very encouraging.
That's right. Thank you. Emiko.
Yes, Yes, me too. It's too new for us to make a comparison. We don't have benchmark neither. So we are just looking at the page views, numbers of likes, numbers of followers, and the numbers of streaming. But it's too early to do the evaluation.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. And Soren?
Well, we didn't do any analysis exactly, but we were doing storytelling for 1,000 children. So the people working in the kindergartens emailed us back, and about the festival, we also had a lot of reactions, but that was more like why we're not going to. We have about 10,000 or 15,000 followers on Facebook. And a lot of them were very sorry that we were not going to have this festival, but are also, of course, very understanding. And one festival after the other was cancelled, so we were just number.
Those are good numbers. And actually, stay on screen because there's a question for you. What kind of things are inside the magical goodie bag, and who pays for them? Is it the Library Association or the city government?
The magical goodie bags were paid for by 2 sponsors that we usually have at the festival, and then from the library as well. And we had this. There was a wand, how to make a wand, and we had this dragon egg, and how to paint and to make it dragon eggs. And we had like stuff where you can with scissors and glue make different things, and then we had this what do you call that, working art where you can I can't really remember the name. It's like a small piece of paper where we can read about the festival, but you can also small stories
like
about the festival. Pardon?
Like a flyer.
Like a flyer, yeah. And where you find your way through, or find the Minotaur through the labyrinth, things like that. There was about. It costs about we made 1,500, and yeah, that's about it I can tell about it.
It sounds great fun. I'm sure the children loved them. So thank you. Thank you very much. Actually, you've all talked about the fact, and we all know this is, very new developments in our services that we've had to do because of responding to COVID. And it's been a big learning curve. I mean, I think back in March of last year, if you'd have said to me, talk to me about Zoom, I would have thought you were talking about the lens on my camera. So we've kind of learned a lot over the last 12 months. And for some staff, the new developments would have been quite difficult because it was beyond their comfort zone. So what have you done in the way of staff training to help them learn new skills, help them build their confidence? Anton, do you want to start with that one?
Yes, okay. Of course, so all the things I've told, all the things about remote work, I had to share all these ideas to all our librarians. Of course, it was much more easier for those who are about 20 years old, and it was a bit difficult for those who are much above. But all of our librarians were very glad when they had a possibility to help their library. And there were a lot of people who were asking us, what can we do right now? How can we help to the library, to our patrons? So we were trying to find different ways of how to work with the catalog, of working in reference services, and so on. So yes, of course, we had to make some kind of trainings. And one of the problem was, of course, is how to make these trainings online. The people don't have enough training to make online, but we should learn them online, and it was difficult. Yes, So they don't know how to do it, and we are trying to learn them.
Yeah.
So, but we did everything all right, and now I can say that our staff is very well equipped and very well organized to make all these things.
Thank you. Hui Bin, how have you been training your staff?
I think our librarians have been like really amazing. Yeah, they're really passionate about it. Of course, there are some, as you have mentioned just now, like, they may not be so ready and may not be so comfortable with online presence. Yeah, so we have some librarians who were more forthcoming. So we started with them, doing the things online, and then sharing their stories of how they have, come up with all these digital programs. Yeah, so we actually shared about, the behind the scene kind of stories, and then, encourage each other, because we are all learning on the job. So I guess the key during the period whereby, libraries and closed, whereby we have to really fast forward all our digital programs, is that learn on the go, learn on the job. Yeah.
Great. Thank you very much. Emiko.
Yes, my library has less than 20 people, but for most of us, the internet things are out of comfort zone before March, just like you said, Annie. And we shared our experiences. I and one of my colleagues who is joining today is a bit better at this kind of thing. So we do kind of experiments and try to share our experiences to other people. And sometimes about the Zoom, we use the phone and push that red button and you're okay. And we kept on trying, and we are doing the training on site, kind of. Yes.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Soren.
Yeah, we haven't had exactly programs for training, but like it was a colleague filming me. So we have a team that's used to do the filming, and we also have talks. We have in the adult section we have a talk with the narrators and people writing, and they do that online now, quite common, and it seems to work. So definitely that's something that will go on. And they're very good at it. And we also have like children's librarians now going into going into a classroom, invited by the teacher, and then presenting books for the class in the classroom online. So it's like, well, some of my colleagues are very keen on it and like to do it, and others don't at all. So we're not forced to do it. But of course, we have some people who like to do it, and that's nice.
And, as we've all seen, people who are quite hesitant at the beginning when they see what can be done and actually how some of that is quite easy to do, then they grow in confidence, don't they? And, yes, work. So thank you very much. Melanie.
Yes, same as Hui Bin and also some of the presenters, we have also some capacity building or training or workshop on how to handle client online or virtual. And then I'm conducting some online storytelling, how to overcome the shyness in front of the camera of some of my colleagues, and some activities also, and some mentoring and coaching of the staff in terms of children's services also. And that's it, some training for that. Thank you.
Thank you. And actually, I guess thinking with the fact that, it is online, it is new, but there are also other issues around it. And one of them being internet safety and online safety, particularly when we're talking about children and young people. And so I was interested, how have you dealt with those issues when you were planning your online services? So Melanie, would you like to start as you're on my screen?
Yes, of course. For example, in the online storytelling, so we have the problems on the copyright issues, right? So we have the permission of the author before we tell the story and we invite the author to tell their stories. And also some of the titles or of their stories have limited, and some of the publishers here in the Philippines, they have the we call it the terms or conditions on how to tell their stories, or their publish what do you call this? The publishing uh, the the publications, rather, the publication. So we need the permission. We write a letter to them and ask a permission to tell their stories about online storytelling. That's it.
Okay, thank you. Emiko.
Yes, we used YouTube to do the online storytelling, but before putting the stories, we had discussion if the YouTube is the really good channel for children to watch, because YouTube has lots of things in that page and some are harmful to children. But we had no experience at streaming and it looked so easiest and common in Japan, so we chose YouTube. But after putting several stories to a YouTube channel, we posted a message to parents that these stories are for children, but please watch it with your child, and please read stories to your child by yourself. It's much better. So that's what we could do, and we had the staff meeting afterwards, and we erased some of the videos because we thought 10 is too much. So the number shown on the YouTube channel right now is less than 10, 5 or 6 now.
Yeah.
Yes, and I would like to hear other people's opinions, why they are using YouTube or Facebooks. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
Simon.
Yes, we found out as well that we need a moderator when we have presenting on YouTube, because people tend to write some stupid comments sometimes, and you have to move them fast. And unfortunately, also that with some of our younger female colleagues had some very not too nice comments, not going on what they were doing. So this is a problem. It is really so. It's very important with a moderator, so things can be removed.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Huai Bin?
Well, for us, for our libraries, we actually post our storytime videos all on our Facebook page. So our libraries has a Facebook page, and then we premiere it at a certain timing. But the video will be made available thereafter as well for them to, for children to go back to view it together with their parents. Yeah, so we found out that as you know, as the other presenters have rightly pointed out, that YouTube channel might not be the best way forward because of the advertisements that we have no control over. Yeah, so which is why we decided that we want to post it on our Facebook page, because our library is also a very reputable brand for the parents, to refer to. Yeah, then as for teens, we realized that they need some kind of social interaction. So video presentations may not work as well for this group, but we are also very mindful with regards to the internet safety and all that. So which is why we kept it to Zoom session, but it's facilitated by our librarians as well.
Thank you. And actually, I'll mention at that point that the children and young adults section has been working with colleagues, and there is a safer internet survey that we're asking librarians across the world to complete before the 1st of April, so that we can get some information on how everyone manages keeping children and young people safe in their libraries. So if we can, we maybe be able to post the link to that survey in the chat box, and we hope you perhaps will all go away and fill it in. We've had another question come in. Did you need extra funding for the remote activities that you've been doing, for technicians, for instance, and for tools that aren't free? Or could you afford those changes within your usual money resources? So, Hui Bin, do you want to answer that first?
Sorry, I didn't catch the last part.
Do you have to get any additional funding money for your online activities? And if so, maybe where did you get it from? And if not, did you manage it within your own budget?
Well, initially, in fact, we didn't have any budget. Yeah, because as I've mentioned, all the digital programs were just fast forwarded, so they are self-filmed by our librarians. Yeah, so in that sense, we didn't need much funding in the beginning, but I think moving forward, we would be planning more and more online programs, and that's when we would need more funding, which can be taken, be it from our current funds, which is meant for our on-site program, but they did not happen. So I guess this funding can be used for the digital programs. Yes.
Oh, thank you, Soren.
Well, it was quite cheap. Yellow shirt and the yellow hat for the storytelling, but for the goodie bags, of course, it was quite expensive. But then we had the sponsors, and I just thought now that we also had the unicorn blood in our goodie bags, mentioning them before, so magical. But otherwise, no, it was it was part of our normal budget.
Okay, Emiko.
Yes, we bought some things like the capture to connect the camera to the PC and something like microphones, speakers, but it was less than 100 euros. So it was not so expensive. And my library's budget is really, really small. So we need to discuss before that, even though.
Yeah.
And we bought some PCs too, because, we need to do the Zoom things and we need more PCs. So yes, that's all. And about the on-site services to children, we didn't need any money. We used something we had. Yes, that's all.
Librarians are very clever, aren't they, at thinking about how to use what you've already got. So thanks, Emiko. Anton?
Yes, there were some budget for all these things I was speaking about, but I always say that you should always think not just how to get additional money, but you should think how to rearrange the budget. Because, for example, if many of the staff were out of the building, you should pay less for the electricity, for the water, and so on. So you've got some additional money. And we had to spend this money, for example, previously we didn't pay for Zoom account, we didn't pay for Restream services, we've got advanced possibilities in reference services, of course, so we've got some money from this side and we put them here, and we also paid for microphones, we've added some additional lights, but of course all these sums were not very big, but we had to pay for some things, of course.
Have I answered? So has everyone answered that question? Hui Bin, have you answered?
Yes.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll lose track of who's answered which questions. Well, we have. I think we only have 2 minutes left. So if I ask you one last question, and that would be, if you could sum up what has been the most benefit to this awful pandemic in terms of delivering library services, what would it be for you? Anton, do you want to answer that first?
Yes, I would be glad to say a few words. The main thing we've got from all this situation is all we could understand how it's important to have real friends, to have real people, to speak with them, to have a possibility to come to your friends and to get new information from them. That's why we were very glad when our library was open last summer. thanks God, our library wasn't closed since that time. It's not very big, very bad situation in Russia nowadays. So we are trying to make everything to be good, for everything to be healthy, and so on. So the meaning of human life became much more important for us.
Yeah, thank you. That's, yeah, powerful message. Soren.
Yes, it was like a more personal experience as well. It was actually very, very nice to go out and meet the children and to directly feel that you're doing something that could be measured. So it was a great experience, and in a period where everything was locked down and sometimes you felt like what's going on and what's going to happen, it was a very great experience. So, yeah.
Emiko.
Yes, I agree with Anton. I miss children. I realized how important it is to meet by person. But for me personally, it was very good chance to think about how I am working every day. The COVID slowed down my everyday life, everyday's work, and I think about what should I do now and what should I do in the future very often. Yes, it's a very sad thing to have this kind of situation, but it was a very, very small good thing for me.
Yeah,
thank you.
Melanie.
For me, technology is important for now here in the Philippines, because to access the accessibility of the collections through online, of course, and also the children's services that have, and also promoting love for books and reading is stay there, even though it's not face to face. But for me, you just think more innovations on how to promote your libraries, and how to promote readings to the children, even they are more on gadgets, but the reality or the meaning of reading is there. Just for me, it is pandemic is a way for me to to promote the love for books and reading through online. So that's it.
Thank you. And Hui Bin.
Well, for me, I thought that even though we are thrown into this very unfortunate and unexpected situation, but I thought that it brought everyone closer together somehow. Yeah, and that we are all connected even right now, at different timings, all of us are here together, sharing about our love for reading, and then, how to spread our love for reading to our young audiences, like the children and teens, as well as among colleagues. And I thought that during this time, I also found that, in fact, human beings are amazing, as in, we can really adapt to changes. Yeah, and that we really are very creative in coming up with solutions and all that. And I think I would like to go away with the message that, everyone stay strong and then stay healthy. Yeah, and that we will be able to survive this. Yeah.
Thank you very much, all of you. I think for me, I think your presentations this morning has summed up all that has been good about a difficult time. And I'm taking away wonderful ideas for promoting children's books, the whole idea about connecting children across the world, really, which I think is very exciting. Emiko, you're, I think I've got it down right, be curious, observe, explore, adapt. And I think that's a wonderful idea, as well as Anton's, the message I'm going to take away. These aren't problems, they're possibilities. And I think if we can hold on to that, that's what's really important going forward. I hope everyone out there has enjoyed this seminar. I know it's been a pleasure for me to moderate it. Thank you to all my colleagues on the working group for putting this great seminar together. But huge thanks to Soren and Emiko and Anton and Hui Bin and Melanie for their great presentations. we're now going to have a 15-minute break, and then we will start the children and young adult business meeting. So please, please do come back and be an observer at our business meeting, because we love reaching out and meeting our colleagues. And just thank you for coming and being with us this morning. Okay, hopefully we will see you in 15 minutes. Bye.
Bye. Thank you, everyone. And thanks, Annie.
Thank you. That was great. Absolutely great.
Dear friends, thank you very
Annie.
much for your attention. It was
Fantastic,
great.
Annie.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That really was. You know, as I said, I was so enjoying, because I deliberately didn't watch the presentations before this morning so that I would come to them fresh and, you know, be able to enjoy them. And I really did. It was so good. Yeah, I think so many things and so many different perspectives, but so many similar themes and ideas as well. So yes, thank you. And then
in the break, do we stay here? Is that the same room? I'm not
yes,
sure.
I think it's the same. It's the same room. So I think people can go off and get a coffee while we get. You know, I think while Euron gets everything ready for the meeting. I think. Am I right?
So yes, you are right, Annie, and great job moderating and great job on the presentations. They were just beautiful. I took a lot of notes. I have ideas for other newsletters and presentations from all of you, and just really inspiring.
Yeah, great stuff. That was just worked so well, and a really good spread of.
Thank you, Anton, for posting the PDFs. I think I did. I have to go back and have a look. Did you post yours, Anton? I think I didn't see the first one in as a PDF, but I may have missed it because things were scrolling through quite quickly.
Yes, I've posted my presentation, but Soren didn't have a presentation. He had a full video. There were not presentation inside of it. Yes. So that's why there are only 4 files.
That's fine.
Okay.
That was so good.
I kept all the files and will attach them to the minutes. Because
lovely. Thank you, Benjamin, and I thank you for that little 8-minute thing that popped up in the chat box. I'd kind of been trying to keep an eye on my mobile phone for the time, but I appreciated that 8 minutes, because you can see I had about 4 pages of questions for you, and I knew we wouldn't get through them all. So yeah, that was good.
Well, the questions can be folded into the future newsletter or into a session at the VLIC, for example. We could talk about that after. So many possibilities.
Yeah, that was good. Really good.
Yeah. Anton, that was amazing about the sort of culture.ru. That's really great, because here, you know, you have to know about each place, and then they all have online programs, but you've got to know that, oh, Columbus Museum of Art or Cleveland Museum, you know, you have to know to go to each of the individual sites.
And you know, there was something like competition, because we were looking who is doing what, and if they did a great event, we were trying to make something much better to get much more audience. Why did they have about 1,000 people? We want to have the same. Yes, it was very interesting, and all of our libraries became much more professional during this period in this stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, so shall we move to the break?
Yes.
PDF.
Yes.
Okay.
We take a break.
Because
coffee
we are still on YouTube.
Coffee time.
Okay. Thank you very much, dear friends.
Well done.
It's better to turn off, to mute the sound and to stop cameras.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Oren, I'm here.
Hello.
With my coffee.
Hello.
Okay.
I'm really missing trying everybody else's sweets and biscuits, though.
Oh, yes.
That's a terrible downside. I think we have to do like Saran and send out, ahead of time, virtual goodie bags with treats.
Is it possible that we can someone put the agenda up on the screen? Could we have that on the meeting? Do we need that, or just in the chat?
Let's see. I wonder if I can post. I think I can post it in the chat.
Okay.
Oh, thanks, Anton.
Well, are you all back?
Yeah.
I've got my coffee. And like our IFLA President Christine McKenzie says, let's work together. Or I will also say like Emiko, just try and keep learning. That's how we do it.
Yes.
It's a great motto. And both mottos describe the meaning of and the value of IFLA and how our organization works. And now we start on our official media meeting. You will find the agenda. It will be placed in the chat. And observers are welcome to participate in the meeting. But since we have time limitations today, they will be muted. If you have questions today regarding the items at the agenda, programs, or projects, please contact the section after the meeting, or you can leave the questions in the chat. And please also put your email in so we can contact you later. And especially welcome to all the standing committee members, all corresponding members, advisors, friends, librarians. So nice to see you, safe and healthy. And thank you all for these great presentations, and to Anton and Salomon and Annie and all of you that made this webinar possible today. Well, I think we start directly on the agenda with the presents. Marianne, are you ready for taking notes? Do you need another secretary for today?
Marianne, you're muted. We can see you speaking, but we can't hear you.
How about now? Thanks, Alita. Huipin, would you be backup note taker as usual?
Sure.
Thank you.
Yes, and then I will read the names, and please say yes if you attend the meeting today, so we can have a full control of if everyone is here. Well, I'm chair. I'm Jorunn Systad from Norway. Marianne Martens from United States, secretary. I think she means yes, because she...
Yes, here, present.
Benjamin Scheffler.
Yes, I'm here.
Ratsina Akhtar from Bangladesh. See you, Ratsina. Maria Alexeva from Russia.
Yeah, I'm here. Hi, everyone.
Maria Axelsson from Sweden.
Yes, hello, I'm here.
Charlotta Boström. She is not present. Miko Gueco.
Yes, I'm here.
Solomon Hellman.
Yes, hello.
Pei Bin Heng.
Yes, I'm here.
Antonella Lamberti.
I am here.
Cosmos Maibeya. He's not present. Søren Dahl Mortensen from Denmark. Naoko Nakajima from Japan.
Yes, I'm here. Hi.
Soo-Hyun Park from Korea.
Yes, I'm here.
Hello.
Hello.
Anton Pernik
Yep,
from Russia.
I'm here. I'm here.
Daniela Skokovic from Serbia. I was sure that I saw Daniela, but
I think you saw one Daniela, but it was without a last name, and it might have been a different Daniela.
okay, she's not present. Claire Stuckey from Australia. Okay. Claire is not with us in the meeting. Annie Tam from China. She's not present. Taina Tranquil from Haiti. Alicia Kolaric, now we have started on the corresponding members. Alicia Kolaric.
I'm here, hello.
Ingrid Källström from Sweden. I think I've seen Ingrid.
Yes, I'm here. Can you see me?
Yes. Joanne Plant from Canada. She's not attending. And Melanie Ramirez.
Present. Present. I'm here.
And yes, and we have two fantastic advisors that's not on the listed on our webpage, but it's very important for our section. And that's Caroline Rankin.
Hello, yes, I'm here. Hi.
And Annie Everall.
Yes, I'm here. Hi.
Is there someone that should be in the meeting today that I've not mentioned? Advisors or corresponding members?
Everyone who is on our list you've mentioned.
Thank you. I think then we go straight forward to on the agenda. It's so nice to see you all. So I think that from now on, you can keep the cameras on, and I think that for the committee members, I think that will be nice for us to communicate.
Sorry, you may ask observers, could you please change your names for we could see from where you've come to our meeting?
Anton, would you say something about how they changed their names?
They could change their name in the participants window. If you know how to do it, please do it. If no, it's okay.
Yes. Then we go on to first item on our business meeting agenda, and that's newsletter. Do you want to say something in this item, Benjamin?
Yes, when we were going over the agenda, we thought we handle the newsletters from apart from the information coordinators report. So we agreed on having two newsletters a year, one in May and one in November. The last November newsletter we didn't manage to produce because due to an overload of work. I know everybody will understand the situation in the libraries, but we are aiming for having a newsletter in May. And we were thinking about talking in this newsletter about library services to young people in the Corona era, because as you can see, there are a lot of interesting contributions, and I think we have today scratched only the surface of what is going on. So there would be much more content that we can bring in the newsletters. And I'm also sure that amongst all the observers today was perhaps increase the willingness to do something about, to present something about what they were doing in their libraries. So I think this would be a good theme. And we would need to get the proposals until April 10th. Not the full article or the full presentation, but the proposals. So if you have ideas that you think would be worth sharing with others, please let us know with a short proposal, about 200 words, and send it to me, to the information coordinator. Yeah, that's for the newsletter at this time, and we go on for the information coordinators report later. Any questions for this now?
We are a bit sad that we didn't make it with the November newsletter, but we made a solution to that.
Right. Okay, yeah, I forgot. Sorry. Thank you that you reminded me. Because we already collected some very interesting contributions. And so we made out of this playlist on YouTube with storytelling videos from all over the world. And if you go on our website, you will find the link to this YouTube playlist, or perhaps Anton can put it here in the chat. I think he has it handy. And this was the outcome of the newsletter we were not able to produce, but it's very interesting, and I think it would be nice if we get more contributions and could make this playlist growing. Yeah, thank you. I see the link has been just put into the chat, so go to this YouTube playlist and see what's happening with the storytelling on an international basis. Thanks.
Yes, I hope that all the observers and the committee members will, that we come up to great stuff before April 10th. It's not a long time to think about things. So I hope that we will have a newsletter ready until this summer. When we go on, in our section, we have lots of projects and programs. And so we're not just talking. That's not the main thing for the moment. I think that one of the things that we wanted with this meeting was to share and to show what we are doing right now with the programs and projects. And Annie, as a co-coordinator for the project The World Through Picture Books, can you say something about this project and what we are doing in this program This is the program, not the project for the moment.
Yes, of course. We're producing a third edition of the World Through Picture Books, which will be a digital edition. Claire Stuckey from Australia and I are jointly coordinating the programme, and she is looking after countries with the alphabet A to J, and I'm looking after countries K to Z. We've sent out emails to all the coordinators who represented their country on the first two editions, asking if they are willing to be coordinator for the third edition. As we would have expected, we had lots of bounce backs of emails because people change emails and people move on and retire. So we've sent out reminders just in case, and I've found several of the people I'd contacted didn't receive the first email. So we then will be looking for either new coordinators in some of the countries, and we're also looking for countries that aren't currently represented in the World Through Picture Books to come forward, because we'd love to feature even more countries this year, this time than we did last time. I think it was about 50 something last time. So if anyone is out there that thinks their country isn't represented and might like to do that, please do get in touch. I'll put Claire and my emails into the chat box when I've finished my report and the countries that we're looking after, so that people can contact us. IFLA HQ organised a very quick promotional campaign of our section, and which was really good. And I think the next stages for us now are to work with the coordinators that we've got and let them know what they need to do next, how they need, it's up to the country how they choose to select their 10 favourite, up to 10 favourite picture books against a set of criteria. But we're working to a deadline of the 1st of August to have people, you know, get their selections back to us through the online forms that Anton set up. That's very brief, but that gives you an idea of where things are. Is that enough? Is that okay?
Yeah, I've put the World Through Picture Books second edition in the chat because it's free. You can download it. Naoko, could you say something about the physical exhibitions?
I think there's nothing to report because nothing about our physical collection is proceeding. So, but Claire sent to the director in charge of this program in the International Library of Children's Literature, and they they are very glad to know the new editions in progress. So they want to continue the loan services of physical collection very well. So it's okay.
So hopefully we can go to libraries again also when COVID ends to look at these great books. I think that the physical collection is not so much used, of course, this year. Is there any other comments to the World Through Picture Books program? I think that the new edition, when do you think it will be ready, Annie?
I think it will. It's hard to say just at the moment because it will depend how many countries get their titles back to us for the 1st of August, and then we need to think about what next. So we'd certainly want it to have it ready before the next WLIC, and I think if we can, we want it to be available before then. So, but
then it's WLIC 2022.
Yeah.
Yes. Hopefully we meet and have biscuits.
Yes.
Sweets.
Have biscuits. Yes.
Let me say one thing. May I?
Yes.
Okay. So I and Emiko start to collect a recommendation from Japanese librarian about this program. So and we've already have 4 recommendations about E10 books, and yes, we successfully collecting the recommendations. Yes.
I'm about to have discussions with the UK children's and schools librarians about how best to look at ours and decide whether we want to keep what we've got, keep some of what we've got, or go with completely new ones. And I think that's the exciting thing about deciding. And different countries are at different stages. Some are like you, moving forward. Some haven't even got a new coordinator yet, and some are in between. So, but
I will be a new coordinator from Denmark.
Wow.
That's brilliant. And yes,
and Ratina
is going to do
and Clara also asked me about the year, and I'm interested to new coordinator at Bangladesh.
Brilliant.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, Claire said you were going to do it, which is great, because it's good fun. So yes.
Well, should we move on? Sister Library Program. Anton?
Yes,
would you say something about that?
Yes, I'm just trying simultaneously to work with stream.
Oh, you are!
I try always to look good, and also now I should be as a presenter. Okay, dear friends, I should say some words about one of the oldest programs of our standing committee, our section. It's Sister Libraries Program. I've just said some official words. I'll just read it because I don't like all these official words. Sister Libraries is a program of IFLA section libraries for children and young adults, for all libraries working with children and young users that wish to build a partnership, exchange views and experience, collaborate and develop joint programs for children and young adults reading, and so on. But I'd like to say a few simple words about what does it look like and what we would like to get from this program. We would like to get certain partnerships from libraries from all over the world, but not common partnership, something like I have partners in many libraries, but to get certain sister librarianships, when I can say that it's my sister libraries and that we have certain common programs. And the main interesting thing is to make really interesting variants of partnership. So it shouldn't be just, it can be just passing books to each other, but there are many different other ways of activities. For example, it can be joint exhibitions. It can be inviting of young professionals from every library, and there can be very interesting internet projects. For example, with our Swedish sister library, we've done a very interesting project several years ago. It was a project step by step. It was a project when our 3 libraries were making a photo of our usual life, of our common life every day. And this project was for 365 days, 1 year. So through this project, it was possible to see what is going on in different countries, in different cultures. And so we were able to see that there are many differences and there are many common things in both of us. And the most common thing is that we all are interested in books. So the main purpose of this program is to involve people in interesting activities, different interesting activities. To make these all activities joined in one place, we are going to make something like a website. It should work like a service in which you can find your new sister library and where you can share your experience. It's not a very simple work. I know that my colleagues hear from me about this project not for 1 month and not for 1 year, but I hope that this year, after all these COVID things, we'll be able to make this website at last. I swear I will do it. You know, I never lie. It can be a delay, but not a lie. So that's all I wanted to say about this very important for us, this very important project for us. And I hope that all of you will be able to share this experience to all of you colleagues. And also I wanted to say that we make some new things to our YouTube channel. We've done storytelling playlist. I'm sorry, I just forgot this name. Storytelling playlist and best practices playlist. Maria will tell something about it later. So please subscribe to our YouTube channel. There will be much more interesting information, including information about our today's meeting. Thank you very much.
Maria, and I also see one in the chat, Robin Gibson, you are both sister libraries.
Yes, we are here in Gislaved, and Robin from Ohio, Westerville. I saw it in the chat, yes. And we are now planning some activities for this summer. And we are going to document it so that we can maybe use it at the website as an example of what you can do. We're going to have summer reading clubs this summer from young persons from Sweden and young persons from Ohio to read and discuss together. And also story walk in parks. We're planning, hopefully, that will be the same here in Gislaved and in Westerville.
Well, and there's another person, Ludi Rueda. She's in Fort Collins, Colorado, and her library had a sister library with a library in Nicaragua as well. So nice to see participants right here in the chat.
Maybe she could say something.
Ludi?
Ludi?
Yeah.
Could you please comment on this project?
Yeah. Thank you. Good morning. Well, wherever you are, good morning, good afternoon, good night. It's pretty early here, but thank you for allowing me to be part of this conversation. My library in Fort Collins, Colorado, had a program with a library in Nicaragua, and we were helping them with the technology to catalog all their material. And then we developed a pen pal program with the students in Nicaragua, and we found a school here where we can partner students from the 4th grade so they could exchange letters. And it was very successful. Unfortunately, the technology, they had some issues with the technology and we couldn't keep going with this program, but we moved that program to a school in Mexico. So now we have this pen pal program with the school in Mexico and students from here, and it's facilitated through our library. Thanks, Marianne.
Mm-hmm.
It's very great because this is kind of program that goes its own life, living out there. And if you are a sister library, please post on our on our Facebook page or contact us if you have things going on. We would love to hear that. I think that we move on. Maria, is it you that can tell us something about the Best Practices project?
Yeah, I would like to say some words about our next project, the project of our section. It is called Best Practices. Within this project, we gather, display, and share good ideas for library services for children and young adults. It is based on Section's YouTube channel. As a result of 2020, the Best Practices Working Group members have made good progress. In particular, we have gathered these suggestions from the group members on what information should be added to all videos within the project already uploaded and new ones. Then we have based on all suggestions and have prepared requirements for a description of each video within the project and approved it with the standing committee. And then we have checked the uploaded 30 videos and edited their descriptions according to the approved requirements. And I'd like to say a huge thank you to all working group members for your efforts and for your submissions and contributions. So since our last standing committee meeting in January, 13 of those 30 videos have been re-uploaded to Sections channel, YouTube channel. So for doing the same with the rest, it is necessary to get permissions from the videos authors. So that's a bit complicated thing, but I think we will solve it. So then, Anton also has made a Google form for new submissions to the best practices. So now it will be easier to fill it in and all required information on submitted video. And besides, the best practices project page on the IFLA's website has been checked and updated. So thanks to our info coordinator, Benjamin, it is already available. So you can check it on official IFLA's website. And there you can find detailed information about the project, a tutorial how to submit your video, and Google form to fill in. So we think now the next step for the working group is to promote the project on all possible media of the section. And I think we will work out some kind of a strategy to promote it better and more in the recent future. So I think that's all for the moment about the best practices.
Yes, I'd like to say a few words, to add some words to what Maria has said. We would be glad to get new videos, of course, for this project. You can send us link to these videos through the form I've posted in the chat room. And so a few words about what we are waiting from the videos. This video should be done specially for our program. It shouldn't be long. It should be 10 or 20 minutes. It should be 3 to 5 minutes video done specially for our project. It should be in English or with English subtitles. So it's easy, short, and fun. Yeah, fun. It should be fun. The funnier, the better. Okay, that's it.
Well, it's fun to be with you.
Thank you.
Always.
Thank you.
And I think that the meeting today, this morning, it was very great when it comes to best practices. So I hope that we can keep also the presentations from the videos on our YouTube.
I will put the file which I was showing during this meeting. I will separately put this file to our YouTube channel, so you will be able to see it in the best quality, not in the meeting, but separately.
Oh, yeah, that will be great. Well, hey Ben, is there any other? Sorry, is there other comments to this project? Rosina have put something in the chat from Facebook. Noah Uga, he messaged us on our section's Facebook page that he wants to partner with African children, that we should partner with African children's librarian to encourage knowledge sharing to the least citizen in the communities who lack resources. So this could go into two projects, actually. It could go that they could go and look at YouTube and see best practices, but it could also be that they could be a part of sister libraries. And a third one, they could, we need new members from Africa and South America to be as members in this committee. So actually there are 3 solutions to this message. Is Noah with us in the meeting? Okay, maybe then we go on. Hey Bin, could you say something about the short version of our guidelines? And
Yes.
yes.
Okay. Right. The shortened version of the guidelines. This is to provide a summary of the 2018 guidelines that consists of 19 pages. So we are looking at condensing it into a 2-page info poster, so that it can be more useful and user-friendly to all our colleagues and friends. Yes. And the good news is that we just received from IFLA HQ is that we have received the funding so that we can proceed with the design of the info poster.
Finally.
Yeah, so really thanks to Joran as well as Marian for putting up the request and following up on it. Yes, so what's next is then for us to look at the content that we have managed to condense into the 2-page. So we will send it to Joran as well as Caroline to take a final look at it. Then after which we will also float it to the rest of the SC members here to give your inputs. So we are looking at the timeline between April to work on it all the way till publishing it on our website, say mid of August. So that's the tentative timeline that we are looking at. And the good news, another good news is that I've also checked in with the designer. The code remains, so we can proceed with the work pretty soon once we have the content firmed up and proofread.
Oh, that's excellent news. Caroline, you are with us today. You are kind of the author of our new guidelines. And also to the observers, we have had some translations. We missed some translations also on the guidelines, don't we, on the 7 languages of IFLA? Could someone put the link to the guidelines in the chat? So the full guidelines?
Yeah, just to say yes. Can I just thank the particularly Hui Ben for her progressing her work on this. It's really actually quite exciting to see what is a fairly wordy document. And if those of you who worked with me on the on that project will know how long it took us to actually get to that second edition, quite a few years in different workshops and so on. So I think it will be really helpful to have this condensed now into something that is visual and that will really help to support getting the message across about the wide expansive work that children and young adults librarians do. And it's great to see all those translations as well. So I don't know if any of our observers today have might be interested in helping with additional translations. That will be really welcome. Thank you.
Would like to add here some advice. If someone would like to work on a translation, please contact us before you starting the work. This is very important because at IFLA there is a process that has to be done with translating these things. It's not complicated and it's not that somebody will forbid it, but in the last months, we had some translations suddenly popping up of documents no longer in use. And it is really sad when people, volunteers, invest their energy in something that is no longer in use. So before you start to become active and translate something, please contact the standing committee so we can talk about it and get in touch and contact and have a really good result here. We are very thankful if you support the work of the section with translations, but it's a good thing when we talk about it first. Thank you.
It's really wonderful. Ludi just volunteered to work on the Spanish, which is an IFLA language. So that's really great to have that. Oh, we have an Italian volunteer as well. I posted the languages it's already available in. And so that's really great. And if you are interested, if you just want to email us after, and Ludi is asking, what's the time frame? Well, we would like it, as soon as you can, but we understand that this is sort of, it's not insignificant. It's 19 pages. So we would need that. And then once the infographic is done as well, it would be really great to be able to translate the infographic into different languages too. Antonella's got a question.
Oh, not a question, just an information. The long translation into Italian is ready. I didn't want to say anything, but I saw in the chat an Italian colleague who's proposing to help. Thank you very much. Next time I will take please put your email in the chat so we can have exchanges later. But we did it, and I'm already in contact with IFLA that sent to me the template. As Benjamin was remembering, it's important being in contact with IFLA for the translation. So we got the template. The translation now fits into the templates. Everything is ready. I just have to send it, and so in a few days, I hope it will be uploaded on the website. I would have told you later, but now I was asked to do it. So that's all. Thank you.
Antonella, that's wonderful news. I'm so pleased to hear that after our discussions as well. Just to comment on this, because I am aware that there have been people working on documents perhaps in the past that have been superseded. Is it possible, Benjamin, if I don't know how this would work with IFLA headquarters, if somebody is currently working on a translation of into a particular language, could we put that on the website as well to say that that work is underway or is ongoing, so that we know that in a sense somebody is actually taking that task on hand? I don't know.
That would be something we could do if I get the information. But if people don't contact us, I don't have this information. And as I said, suddenly I get an email out of the blue. Hello, we have now the translation of the into Catalan. And then pop, it's on our website. And it's nothing that I'm doing. So I don't have the opportunity to interfere here. So if I would know that somebody is starting a translation, it's a very good idea that we put a box on the website also saying coming up the guidelines in Italian or so.
But we have raised this question.
We have raised this question, and we're discussing it. I think that in the process of making translations, there must be a missing step, and they should contact the standing committee who owns these papers, the documents that are translated. And I put my information coordinator email in the chat, and if anybody has any questions about translations or wants to start something, you can email me too, and then we can discuss how it's going. We also discussed if it wouldn't be possible to take documents who are no longer in use, who are outdated, from the website, and this is not possible. They have to stay there, which is very unfortunate, because then people start to translate the guidelines for toddlers and babies, which are no longer in use, and they
Yes.
invest their
Can I say
work.
also, as an LIS practitioner, I have found this when some of my students have actually been referencing material that they have managed to find using web searches that have now been superseded as well. So it's a problem on a number of fronts. I don't know if you've come across that, Marianne, but you know, it's a shame there's not some way that we can indicate that those documents have been archived. But that's for future discussions, I guess.
We have absolutely raised that with Megan Price from headquarters, and I will do it again, because that's a really big issue. I mean, first of all, that somebody went and translated old versions of the guidelines, spent all that time, put all that work into it. Ridiculous. And that's a really good point about the students as well, and people referencing outdated resources.
I think
Dear
that
friends,
is, yeah.
I'm
Yes,
sorry, Jeroen.
Anton,
I have
you're
a
welcome.
little offer to make its work a bit more clear. Maybe we can make a public Google Sheet document where we have these translations. Translations for these languages are in work. These are checking, and we need these languages also. For everyone could see what's going on right now. And Carolyn, Benjamin will have access to make changes to this document, but this document will be public, and we will be able to put the link to this document right on the page, on the IFLA page of the project, of the guideline.
Yeah, we could do that, or as I said, I could try to put this information on the website itself, where the languages available are listed. We could also make a block, a box over on top, saying these are the languages working at the moment, and this is what we would very much like to have, for example, Arabic or something, which is really missing.
Oh yeah. And also contact information for you, Benjamin, about who to contact before you start a translation, please.
Yes.
Yeah, I think about it and come up with a suggestion. Okay.
Yeah, but still, this item is good news. We have started the work on the short version of the guidelines. It's going on, and we are so happy with that. I would say something about ALMA. ALMA Award, Astrid Lindgren Memorial Award. I think that I just share my screen with you. Can you see the Astrid Lindgren Memorial Award?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It's okay.
As you see, this is a very big award, and it's 5 million Swedish krona for the winner, and it's the largest international children and young adults literature award in the world, and it's very important award, and the award can be authors, illustrators, oral storytellers, and reading promoters. And we are a nomination body for this award. These are the nominated that we have done the last, I think it's from 2013. And you see in 2015, our nominee actually won the prize. That was Praesa in South Africa. This year we have 3 nominated nominations, not 4, and the winner will be launched March 30. I've put the announcement in the presentation. This year nominated is Japanese Kyoko Matsuoka. She's been a dedicated children librarian, author, translator, and reading promoter for nearly 60 years. Here you can see her at, I think it's Amiko's library. It's photographed by Masakazu Ikeda. Second nominated is the German Reading Foundation Stiftung Lesen, and they are doing a very important job to ensure that every child in Germany develops crucial reading and media skills. Since 1988, the foundation has strived to create adequate and accessible programs for every member of society, regardless of financial, cultural, and social background. And the third nominee is Trøndelag Fylkesbibliotek in Norway for their impressive effort supporting the Sami languages. And that kind of also raised a question to one of our programs that we had earlier today. There are languages that doesn't go to a country. Should they be presented in the world through picture books? And this library, working together with Sami language organization, both in Sweden and Norway, the library has initiated more than 100 translations of contemporary children's book into Sami languages. It means that they are kind of making the language alive for the children. So, who's going to be nominated for 2022? We have to start now. We have said that the section nominate a person or organization only 3 times. So, and if they don't get the prize after that, we move on. So I need new suggestions from the committee or from observers sent to my email before May 1st. And those who nominate must write short description on why they're nominating this body, 250 words limit. And if we get more than 4 suggestions, then committee will discuss. And we can't nominate authors. We nominate promotion of reading in that category. So, and if the nominees are accepted, we will have to all information needed. I think that's May 1st. That's it should be May 10th, not May 1st. I need the information, all the information from the nominees before May 1st. So I hope that we will have, I wish for our nominees this year, and I hope that you will follow the streaming from the Swedish Astrid Lindgren Memorial Award in April 3rd. And we wish our nominees best luck. And if there are other organizations, private persons or other that you should be nominated, please contact me. Is there any comments to this item, others?
Jorunn, could you put do you have the link to the live streaming of the ALMA event?
Yeah.
Could we put that in for people?
Yeah, I could put it in just to get it back. I put it in the, I think this is the one. I can't type and write and speak at the same time. It's very difficult. Well, Marianne, the big thing that came out of nowhere, Safer Internet Group. Can you say something about that?
For sure. We met with Valencia from headquarters at IFLA's VLIC in 2019 in Athens, Joron, Benjamin, and I. And they really stressed, Valencia and other people, they really wanted to do something from our section in conjunction with Safer Internet Day. And of course, since we are the people working with children and young adults, we are kind of the natural people to do something about this. So we came back, and in our next quarterly meeting, we talked about, what could we possibly do? What kind of event? We talked about setting up guidelines, there are some very old guidelines. We talked about revising that, but that takes so long because first of all, you have to write them, you have to revise them, then you have to get 1 million approvals. It's, start to finish, easily a year. And as you all know, as soon as you do something like that with guidelines about digital resources, they're already outdated. So instead, we thought, what can we do that is sort of faster, flexible, more fluid, something that would really, collect the pulse of what's going on. And so we came up with the idea of doing a survey. So we have a Safer Internet Day working group that was formed, an ad hoc committee. It's not an official committee yet, although I have a feeling it will become one. And we worked together. It was Rosina, Maria Alexieva, Annie Everall, Emiko, Huebin, Alitza, Antonella, Naoko, Carolyn Rankin, and Melanie Ramirez, as well as Joron and Benjamin participating at various points. And we drafted survey questions, which was really interesting because when we started, I think we had 200 questions or something that we could possibly ask. And we realized no one will ever want to take our survey. So we shelved a lot of the questions. We came up with kind of a streamlined survey. And what we're hoping to do is with this, what we're calling our baseline survey, we're hoping to find out how librarians around the world are contributing to making the internet a safer and better place for children and young adults. And as you all know, after this pandemic, there's no longer a question of, whether people are using the internet. It's how can they get to it and how much can they use it. So this is kind of something that everyone is dealing with. We're hoping with the results from this first survey to develop some kind of a tool to raise awareness and share best practices with the wider IFLA community and the library field. And I can tell you as of this morning, we have 421 responses. The responses are coming from North America, South America, Europe, Asia, Africa, and Australia. And we have extended the survey until April 1st. And as soon as the survey closes, we're hoping, we would like to get a few more. If we could get more from Latin America, we have a lot from Chile for some reason. But if we could get from other places, from Africa, we have a few South Africans. I think there's one from Kenya, one from Ghana, just kind of a sprinkling around Africa. If we could get more, that would be awesome. Then we really have this sort of global survey. So it closes April 1st. When it closes, we're going to start analyzing the data, which is going to be this whole other monster project that I can't even talk about yet. And Carolyn, I hope you'll be on board for that. And yeah. So we hope to get some really good results out of that. The thing that we found with all the 200 whatever questions we started with, we realized there are opportunities for future spin-off projects, something on internet training at libraries or, other best practices. So there's lots of things that will be spin-off projects from this. So I don't have anything else to share except for I can share once again, I had put earlier in the chat, I put the link to the survey. I'll do it once again when I stop talking, and I hope you will share it with your networks as well. Thank you.
Well, that's great that so many have responded to this survey, and I'm really looking forward to hear the outcome of it. And like we said, when we started this period, we didn't know about this project. It kind of came out of nowhere. And that's one of the reasons that we didn't get the November newsletter out, because this project was kind of big. Is there other comments to this item? And I think that then we move on to the elections. Then it's me again trying to share my screen. That's always not so easy. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know how to put one up and at once, so you have to see both. Did you follow the meeting on February 12th, the General Assembly? And
Yes.
It was overwhelming vote in favor of the new statutes that IFLA created that day. And as you see it, there is a link there, and there you find this IFLA governance and overview. I think this is the document that explains how IFLA organizes today, this new document. And it has all the key elements of its new governance structure in place. So what does this mean for our section? I think this is what I focus on today. And what we have to focus on is elections. And this election have started. It's very late this year. Earlier year, we have started the election is in December. We have elections every second year in IFLA. And I will, Anton, if you can help me, we will put this in the, I'll try to put this in the chat as well, because this, you will all find this information also on the web page. IFLA elections, they have started, and there have been a call for nomination for president-elect, treasurer, governing board, professional council, regional council, that's new, professional division committee chairs, and regional division committee members, advisory committee chairs and members, and us, professional standing committee members. They are now out and a call for nominees. And this nominee call, this end at April 13th. This means that all personal and organization member in this section, we can nominate for all places that are kind of free in this section. And for this moment, we have 8 places that will be possible for new members next year. First, that will say that I am a personal member in this section, and I can nominate 8 persons. And after I've nominated, then the person that I have nominated need to reply on an email from IFLA. That's kind of to fill in the application form. You need a nomination, and you need to answer on an application form to be nominated. And after the nomination, then if there are more applications than we have places, there will be an election. In last election 2 years ago, we had 8 places, but we had 16 nominees. So we had lots of members that wanted to be a part of this committee, but couldn't get in. So this is the timeline for the elections. And what is the changes for our section? The professional section, they are elected. This is not so different from before. But special now is from August, when Benjamin goes out, then the information coordinators are officially included as officers. Before, there have been just secretary and chair that have been officers. So that's new from this year. And there will be some changes. There are no longer corresponding members in the committees. From August, the corresponding members that we have today will not be possible corresponding members anymore. But there will be possible for sections to co-opt up to 5 additional members to boost geographical diversity. And that means that if the new chair, I will not be in this section anymore, but when the new chair say that, oh, I don't have any persons that have contacts or in African countries or in Asian countries or whatever, they can co-opt up to 5 additional members. And furthermore, the section standing committee can also top up members if they have fewer than 20 people under except outside the elections, actually. And the section can also appoint mentors. I think they will be like the advisors that we have today, in order just not to support new members to engage more effectively, but you need them kind of to keep the section going, to keep the story, to keep special professional things that you need in the committee. And the section itself will still choose who's going to be chair, secretaries, and information coordinators. How this election will be done in August, I'm not totally sure of, but I think that will be done in our meeting then. Other new changes will be that special interest groups, we don't have that in our section. They will have a committee of up to 9 members. And they will only be able to operate for 2 4-year terms. After they can't stay on forever. So there will not be like a new section.
Jorun,
yes.
Jorun, sorry, you mean they can't remain a special interest group forever, right?
No, if they don't manage to be a section, because that's
then their life terminates.
Yes.
Okay, thanks.
Working groups and networks like our World Picture Book project groups and other, they will have new possibilities for informal cooperation on specific subjects, and they will be more known and more in IFLA in another way. I'm not sure how IFLA is going to do this, but so this will come changes in how working group, because now, for example, you can't find the working groups other places than in the minutes on a web page, and that's a bit sad. And there will be review of the professional units that will take place every 5 years to see if they're still relevant, to see if they fit into the strategy, and they will be reviewed by the professional council. these new professional divisions, we have now 5 professional divisions. They will now be 8 professional divisions, from A to wherever you get in the alphabet when you get when you come to 8.
H.
Yes. And our new division, it looks like it will be E. It's all in this IFLA governance review. From now on, it looks like Division E. That would be school libraries, indigenous matters, information and literacy, libraries for children and young adults, literacy and reading, reference and information service, and library history. So we will no longer be in the division with public libraries or metropolitan libraries, or library services to multicultural populations. So that will be a change for us. But I think that you still can work beyond divisions. I think that will not be, I think that we also see that, I think the change is, Marianne, can't you say that all that we are more, headquarter is more eager to help us in our daily work. They are very active, and like in projects like Internet Safety Day, they have been very active and very supportive and helping. And I think they are more eager to help the sections.
I think especially when we have a project like Safer Internet Day that aligns with the IFLA mission and what they want to do right now, they are all over it and they really want to support us and help us. The other thing I would say that they really keep stressing over and over again is collaboration with other units. So that I think we're more likely to get funding if we are partners with someone. I think that was part of our issue with it taking so long to get funding for the guidelines and things like that. That just took forever.
I will put this in the hopefully in the chat. So I'm not so good. I think I need to practice more, Emiko. If you get if I could have the governor this document, I think you will find all the information that I've taken in from this document about the elections. I haven't said anything about the division, the regional divisions, and all these kind of things that's new. The only thing that I've commented now is what this has to say to our professional committee. But I agree on that what you say, Mariana. There will be changes. They will want us to cooperate more. Is there other comments and questions to the elections? Nauko?
Yes, I would like to ask you one thing. I am a country coordinator of the World to Picture Books program, but my term will end in next August. So do I have to pass my work program's work to next new committee member? Or can I continue the program's work after August? I don't understand.
It's a bit hard for me to answer, since I am not a part of the committee after August, as well as you. We are in the same situation after August. True. I have been in this section for 8 years. So this is my final month.
Oh,
Oh,
I'd like to ask, Naoko, you were asking if you could continue with your work as country coordinator, right?
yes.
Yeah, I think that would be possible because in the World Through Picture Book project, most of the country coordinators are not member of this committee. I would say 99%.
I see.
Yeah,
So,
I see.
because the project group is looking for volunteers on an international basis, and it would be, I think I'm right. Annie, what do you say?
You are that, yes, you're absolutely right. The country coordinators are not all members of the committee, because we wouldn't have enough committee members to cover all the countries. So absolutely, Naoko, you can continue, and we're very glad that you will continue as the coordinator for your country for the World Through Picture Books. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Annie.
So we will be connected with you still. It would be so sad if we couldn't work together with you anymore.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Benjamin.
I feel the same. I will miss you too much. I will sneak into your meetings and be an observer. but it's a long time until August, so I will stay with you.
And you're going to be the country coordinator for Norway.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, we will keep in contact.
And we're all coming to your house for mid-year meeting.
Yeah, you're all invited.
That's under the any other business section of the agenda.
So, I feel a bit sad about this one. Ooh. Then we go on. I think we have a last. Where did I lose my Anton? I've lost my agenda also.
No, we're on Benjamin for the information coordinator report.
Thank you, Benjamin.
Yeah. Okay. I have to set the clock first for myself. So, okay. As information coordinator, I will tell you a bit about the small changes we made on the website. As Jorun pointed out, it is a shame that all the work you are doing in the working groups is not visible on the website. And therefore we altered something. When you, I will try to share my screen. I hope this works. Yes. Let's see. Do you see the website now?
Not yet. Not yet.
Not yet?
Yes. Yeah. Okay now.
Yes. Yet. Okay. This is our landing page, as you know. And I was not able to change anything here because this is a template that is designed by IFLA and it has to stay exactly as it is. So I added here in the read more part, or which leads us here to the more about this group part. I inserted this paragraph where the working groups are now in a very prominent place and they are listed. If you go to the links, you are directed immediately to the project pages of these working groups. And under other activities, you find all the teams we are having. We have a lot of teams. Communication team, the VLIC planning team, the satellite planning team, the mid-year meeting team. So I will always update these information. The good thing is, I think, that you see more what is going on. For example, here, the Safer Internet Day project page looks like this. There's something about the content, and here are the names of the working group members. And you can try, if you Google your name and IFLA, somewhere this page should show up. So, and here on the project pages, this page existed before, but I changed it a little bit. I updated it, and also these links lead to the project pages. So there are now, and now I can stop this here. There are now several opportunities where visitors on our website get more information about the content of the work, what we are doing. As you know, there is a relaunch of the website pending, but it is really pending and not much more. I have little information about the progress. We heard about technical issues and problems and that the work was delayed. Now it is said that a presentation of exemplary websites will be displayed before the VLIC 2021, but it will be not the full new IFLA website. It will be only exemplary so that we can see how it will look. Salomon and I had made a draft or ein Entwurf, I don't know.
A draft.
A draft, thank you, for the new web page according to the requirements that we were given. And we sent that to headquarters, I think, Salomon, 8 months ago, something like it, 7, something like that. We never heard anything back. We made inquiries 2 times, no answer. So this is really something I can't say much about it. But as unpractical I find the current website, I don't want to put much work in it because it will be relaunched, it will be deleted. It doesn't make any sense to make big improvements and to work a lot on it. So that's that. If you find anything that is out of date, or if you have ideas about what could be changed easily, please let me know. Then if it's possible, I'm very happy to do that. We have sometimes news on the landing page, things like that, but it's really not much going on there. Then we have our mailing list. We had some terminations, but we had more subscriptions. In November, when I reported the last time, we had 504 subscribers. Some left us, but there were many new subscriptions. Now we are up to 525 subscriptions on our mailing list. And the last posts on this list were about the mid-year meeting, of course, and the Safer Internet Day survey. Yeah, and then we have a Facebook account, and Salomon agreed to say a few words about that because he's taking care of that most of the time.
Yeah, sure. As Benjamin said, as a complement to the webpage, and as we are waiting for the relaunch of the webpage, Facebook is quite an important channel for our communication. Of course, everyone is not using Facebook, but a lot of people are. And for making quick posts about what we're up to, it's a very useful tool and easy to use as well, if you compare to the website where you often have to wait for updates and so on. I wouldn't say we are very active on Facebook, and the Facebook algorithms, they force you to post things quite often to really reach out. But we keep on posting every now and then, and all of us in this section can help finding subjects or things to post on the site. The event today is a good example when we also, everyone helped spreading it, sharing it on Facebook. We reached a lot of people. The Facebook page in total have almost 4,000 followers from around the world. Quite good, I think. Could be more, but good enough. Yeah.
Yeah, that's very good, I think. Sorry, I didn't want to interrupt you.
No, I was finished.
You
Thank
were
you.
finished. Okay.
Yeah.
I just have some. No, that was all from my side. The other things are just regular stuff like Zoom meetings with the other officers and working on the action plan and annual report and things like that. So, okay, thanks. That was all.
Thank you so much, Benjamin and Solomon. Solomon, is very important for us to make this event today as nice as this came with this. Oh, and we love the color and we love the stripes and we love everything. So thank you, Solomon.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was really great design. Really looked very good.
And Benjamin, and also the work that you have done with the web page and to get these working groups up, because they are so important that we can show how all the work that the committee puts into their committee assignment, and that you can show that you can show that it's official. So I like it a lot. And we also have another social media that Anton is keeping up with YouTube. That's also important for and this live streaming today. I hope for the moment we have just Facebook and YouTube, and I see that other sections have, like they have Twitter, they have LinkedIn, and they have Snap and Twitter and all. I see that Antonella her eyes goes up. It's a time. I mean, this is volunteer work and you need something to put there, and how can you keep up with everything? It's not easy. But like now when headquarters highlight or work like they have done on the Internet Safety Day, when they have said that they would highlight the work that we do in the section, because they can do it in all these social media. And that's important also, that we are a part of IFLA and that headquarters see us and we can cooperate with them. Great work. Is there any other comments to this item? Then it means that it's excellent, Benjamin. Planning for VLIC 2021. We are not going to eat sweets together or cakes or whatever. I'm so sorry. We're not going to Ireland this year either, or Netherlands. We're going to be in our computers.
No wine drinking.
Well, that depends. That depends. We will figure out something
together.
Yes, we will figure it out. Maybe we'll drink a whole day to get everyone in the evening.
I won't put that in my minutes. I'll leave that out.
Well, Marianne, could you say something about VLIC and what we need to have for planning?
So I'm a little confused because I know that there's this April 9th deadline of presentations from our section. Is that right, Jordan?
Yes.
So we have to decide if we want to do something for VLIC to have a session. So that's something we have to decide like now. So I don't know if anyone is feeling inspired. I mean, I think that a lot of what came out of our event today would be beautiful. We could do something like, you know, what really inspired me from all of the presentations today was silver lining lessons of the pandemic, things that people have learned to do, that librarians were able to pivot. And Emiko talked about suddenly learning all these social media tools, which when we were in Japan 2 years ago, you told us that was not a thing in Japan, that just wasn't prioritized. And you guys had to just figure that out right now. And Anton, I mean, whether you're learning to be a skipper or you're figuring out how to do these massive presentations using all kinds of tools, that's wonderful. So I think that that might be a really interesting presentation, just to sort of be efficient and take what we've already got here and say, you know, we're going to do this, you know, how children's librarians have pivoted. Melanie, the idea of using TikTok, that's crazy. That's so interesting. So all of the presenters today had this feedback. And I mean, the idea of, you know, in Russia that there's this culture.ru thing, that's to me really, really great too. And Sharon, of course, what you've done with the libraries and the goodie bags and connecting virtually, but also physically in a safe way. So I think really there's just the overall message is that, you know, librarians figure it out, you know, that, you know, when you can't reach people, when there's some situation like this, that we figure out how to connect, how to keep kids reading, how to get books and stories into the hands and minds of children.
That's actually a good title, Marianne. Librarians figure it out.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so, because we were talking about what we should be doing at the VLIC, and you know, they had 5 themes, fields of themes, in which session we promote has to fit in. And one of these themes was libraries innovate. And I think what we saw today, and I'm sure there are more examples for it, would fit in that very good. So a title like Librarians Figure It Out, turning a crisis into a transformational opportunity would be a good theme to collect some presentations and to offer this.
Yeah.
Because April 9 is the deadline. Yes, we have to come up with a proposal. It's a call for proposals they were sending out. And then the professional unit or something will check all the proposals and will choose which they approve of.
Yeah, I just wanted to add. Sorry, I just wanted to add, I didn't talk about Hui Bin's presentation, but I think Hui Bin stressed a really important thing too, which is the idea of hybrid programming going
Yes.
forward and using it to engage in particular teams. I thought that was something else. Yeah,
And the idea of what are we keeping? This is very important.
Yes.
And that also is not only looking back now to this year with Corona and what did we do, what skills did we develop, it is also looking into the future. What will we keep on doing and how do we combine these things?
Could we use some of the things that we have today
Yeah.
combined with the Safer Internet Day?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe, and as Benjamin said, looking forward to that's important issue, I think. Yeah. So not just what we did, but also how we can use it in advance.
And if we do some kind of call, just outlining the theme, I'm sure, as Marianne said, there will be lots more out there, people that might like to do a presentation. We could just have a series of small presentations.
Yeah.
Like
That's a great idea, Annie. People were posting stuff in the chat. Anton, is the chat going to be archived as
Yes.
well? It is.
I'm
Good.
covering this chat, of course. Yes.
Good. Because people
Almost
posted
like
things they've done.
Sorry.
Yes. We'll have everything.
Anton keeps everything.
Yes.
Almost
Master
like
of the coins.
almost like lightning talks, but virtual.
Great idea, Annie.
So perhaps we could ask the present people here to send until, let's say, April 1st, a short idea, 10 lines about a presentation, a short presentation, a virtual lightning talk you could do on a theme, and we'll collect this, because until April 9, we have to make out of that a real proposal, and there is a form. Of course, there's a form. It's IFLA. We are talking here. There's a form we have to fill in. So I didn't look at it yet, but I will. So we would need your contributions, your ideas, and then we can make up out of this something for a proposal for a session. So don't think so much if you got every detail now. If you have an idea, just write this idea down and 2 or 3 sentences and send it to us. You can send it to me. I have a week of vacation now. I can collect these things. And
this is a really good plan, I think, everybody, because the today I feel has been very successful. The presentations earlier on, and the model has worked, even though we were a little bit to the cut it a little bit fine with some of our preparations, and I think there is so much to share, and the short talks were really interesting because they were very different, different styles of presentation, and it just kept the interest going. So let's build on that. But I'd also like to. We still have some of our observers with us, I think. If what would they like to see as well? And I know Benjamin has said, if they could offer a talk or something. What about the format? Is this kind of panel session appealing? The Q&A thing? Do people like that? How could we do? Build on this to enhance, or could we do something a bit different? Just while we have observers here, what do they feel? Because it will have to be virtual this year.
Please feel free to comment.
You know what? It would be really awesome if we could get, Robin Gibson has answered that she would do something. So she's in Ohio. It would be really great, Anton, if we could do the same kind of thing we did for today, where you have like one video that connects everybody so that we're not worrying about people jumping in and out for a lightning talk. I could imagine a real tech mess with that. So to have something.
I'll do anything we need. And a bit more.
Oh, that worked so great. So I just thought that was, a very elegant way to do it via Zoom. Seamless, without any, major things. So that's good.
Didn't they say that they have bigger Zoom rooms for the VLIC?
They say that.
I think so.
But then you have to pay to attend. So
we don't want people to have to do that.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, but if you want to attend the VLIC, you have to pay.
Yes, this is the same, even if it's virtual.
Okay. Oh, and so if we get someone presenting on the video, they have to register for VLIC.
Yes.
To be there.
Yes, and
okay.
if they are not of the library field profession, then they can get in free. But if they are from the library field, they have to register. Oh yeah, and Annie says she is doing something for literacy and reading. So you are there already and could do something for us too. That's good.
We've done a lot of work with all of our authors, in making the events, the tours, the visits to schools and libraries virtual. So I could do something. Yeah, happy to do something.
Yeah, Marianne, just picking up your comment about the Safer Internet Day. Yes, but by then, I'm just trying to think, April, May, June, there should be some preliminary data that can be shared just to, keep the momentum going on that, and looking forward to what might be the themes for continuing.
I think so. And I think it was Hui Bin who was talking about needing to use Zoom to make sure. And a couple of you talked about the need for moderation. No, you did. So just this idea of, how do you do virtual things and keep them safe, right? So that's something hopefully that will come out of our survey a little bit.
Okay, so are we?
I think we are on to closing, right?
Yeah, we are agreed. So everybody until April 1st, rack your brain and send us a idea for something we could make together. Great. Oh, I sound like Trump. I didn't want to.
Please, no, we just got rid of him. Oops, I didn't say that. Okay.
Thank you for everything today. This was a great mid-year. We skipped lots of the normal things on the agenda that we usually have. Some of the things we need to take back on the next quarterly meeting in April, yes. But I think this was great. I feel a little empty in my head, and my English is starting to getting even worse after 2 hours.
It's far better than my Norwegian.
So, it was so nice to see you all. And I really miss you. And physical meetings are best, but this is second best to see you all. So thank you all, and for your presentations, for your work, and making this possible.
And
thank you all.
Such a great chair.
Yes.
Bye,
See you.
everyone.
Bye.
Thank you very much, dear friends. It was great. Thank you.
Bye, Anton. Bye.
Bye.
See you in April.
Bye.
Bye, everyone. Great to see you.
Yeah, good to see you all. Take care.
Stay safe,